Tomorrow I'm going to show you a lot of what I call staggered potting or domino potting, where I take something from a smaller pot and transplant it into a larger pot across the garden. But today I wanted to show you a couple of things that really make repotting and topiary care a lot easier. These are no-brainer things. I'm sure you guys are going to think, oh my gosh, why didn't she think of that earlier? That is such a duh kind of thing. But sometimes the obvious escapes me. So here's a couple of things you can have on hand that I think will really help make your life a little bit simpler. So if you started getting into topiary, I highly recommend you get just an inexpensive Lazy Susan, or just use one you've already got. That way, when you're pruning your topiaries or in flower arranging where you want it to look good all the way around, you can just twirl it on your Lazy Susan instead of constantly picking up the pot and moving it. So that's number one, and I'll try to find one and put a link below on Amazon. I think I got this one off of Amazon. The second thing is whether or not I want to prune my topiary before I upsize it. So I'm going to upsize it into this slightly larger pot because this is the time of year that rosemary is putting on its really active growth. And I want to take advantage of that to my greatest ability to do so. So I'm going to transplant it now while it's in its rigorous growth stage. It will put out both root and top growth because I want it to really enlarge in size in both height and in girth. I want a collection of fairly large rosemaries instead of just these tabletop ones. This was started from a cutting quite a while back. On LVTV, we just did a deep dive into the most effective way to root cuttings. It's more than just kind of a cursory stick it in some rooting hormone and put it in some soilless mix. This is a real deep dive into how to be very effective about it. But enough of that. Let's start out with clipping this. Now, you're going to surely ask me what my favorite clippers are, and these are Joyce Chen clippers. I don't know, Stuart, if you can, it's got the name engraved on it. I get these off of Amazon. These are my favorite topiary clippers for the same reasons that those Barnell pruners are my favorite pruners. They're very sharp, they're very exacting, and they have long pointy tips where I can really get into the interior of the plant or do some very fine clipping. Now, could you use a regular pair of scissors? Yes, but I do so much clipping on topiaries like these myrtles, and I want to be very exacting sometimes. So that's why I like these. They're very sharp, they're just wonderful. So I'm going to clip this before I put it into the new pot, and I'm doing that because I of course will top dress it with gravel. I don't want all of those clippings to fall into the gravel. And also, how I clip it will slightly transform the shape of the plant itself and how straight it appears on the stem. And when I transplant it, that's an opportunity for me to straighten it as much as possible. So I'm going to be a little bit aggressive about pruning, I really want this to be a tight ball form at the top. I'm getting really interested in other shapes of topiary that I will reveal later, but this is just a classic double ball or double poodle topiary form. And to clean it up, I'm going to remove some of this growth, leafy growth that's coming off of the stem. A lot of times, to make it look happier, if you take off some of the downward growing foliage, it tends to be older. Sometimes it might have been a little buggy. It sometimes has discolored. And that's a way also to clean up your topiary, not just cutting from the top, but also cutting from the bottom. So I'm doing that here. You can see it's decidedly not straight. This is my chance to make it fly right. I'm doing that. Okay, now I have mentioned before, but I'll mention it again because it's one of my favorite things. This is a special terracotta pot. I got it years ago from White Flower Farm. I'm not really sure if they're still available, but I will check, and if they are, I will put a link to it. Because a lot of my pots, you all are always asking me, where do I get my pots? I get them from everywhere. I am an equal opportunity shopper of pots. I get them everywhere at every price point, including plastic that you've seen me transform. But periodically, I really like to have some that are very, very special. And especially as I'm getting into Mediterranean plants, anything that evokes the Mediterranean is really important to me. So this one is a little bit pot bound, and one thing I have noticed, you all, anytime you grow something in a pot that becomes slightly narrower at the top versus one that is slightly broader at the top from the bottom, it's much more difficult to get them out. And it's because of how it transforms itself, the root ball, to conform to the shape of the pot. So I'm going to water this a little bit more, and then I'm going to very gently wrap this on the grass. So that loosened it. To get it out. Okay, so now let me check where this is going to be relative. You can see I've already at the bottom, I've put in a little bit of soil, and actually you can't see it, but I've already put in a little bit of Osmocote, a long-term slow release fertilizer. It's those little tiny spheres you often see in plants, and I will put a link to that as well. So this is what I mean when I say that I've got the opportunity to make it stand up and fly right, because I do spend so much time straightening my pots. I love it. I think, was it Jean or Mary, one of our little community here commented that her OCD was kicking in and one of the finials on the garden posts weren't straight, and would I please straighten it? And she said it very sweetly. And she is a gal after my own heart, because I promise you, it would have bothered me as much as her. I love the exacting nature that she has. So thank you for that. I love those kind of comments. So I am now filling this in. Sometimes, because of the shape of the root ball, it's hard to get it to be exactly centered in the pot. That doesn't bother me so much as it growing straight does. So I want things to be kind of perfectly imperfect. I've got a little bit of rainwater here. These empty Folgers cans are great. Now see, this is a reason that you want, notice how it's straight from one angle, but it's not straight from the other angle. Stuart, can you see that? Okay, so I ideally want it to be straight from all angles. So I'm just going to reposition it a little bit. Is that more straight now, Stuart? Okay, Stuart's shaking his head. The mysterious Stuart is shaking his head. Okay. Now, I think that looks pretty straight. I will give it another good water after I top dress it with my beloved gravel. Fortunately, I've clipped it beforehand. Why do I use gravel? Say it along with me. Because I like the way it looks. It keeps squirrels out and moisture in. And then I'll press that down. I like, Stuart, if you can show everyone, I like to have a little bit of clearance at the top of about at least ½ an inch, so that when I water, nothing escapes. And while it's still fresh and is not root bound, I can, over the next few days, continue to straighten it if I need to. So there are some very obvious things that make your job easier. Again, I'll put a link to these Joyce Chen clippers below. Some of you guys ask about where I get these, and these you can get at farm supply stores apparently. They're feed scoops, and I think I can also put a link to one of these because for my gravel, I love it. It makes it so easy to top dress my plants. If you have clipped later, I have found just a gentle blow over the surface of the gravel will remove any of those little tidbits. This is sadly COVID country now, so make sure that you're not blowing onto anybody standing on the other side of your potting bench. So there you go, guys. Have a great day, and thanks for helping me at the potting bench.